Is it actually streaming?
It's got a little red box on it. That doesn't mean anything. Or does it?
All right. I think we're live.
What does YouTube say? Where are we live is the real question. Are we live in the YouTubes? Are we live in the Helixes?
Okay, we're live on YouTubes.
Oh, I see it. We are live on YouTubes.
Live on YouTubes. Let's see. I don't need that playing in the background. Let me get Helix going.
Look at us being live over on
it's
right there. There we are. We're right there. That's Linkception. That's Streamception. Something.
Mm-hmm.
So now I could just like inside baseball this like super meta and be like, look, here's me. I'm just gonna like share this like on the stream.
Oh,
scintillating. Look at how scintillating this is. Like there we are, like just looking at things, and you can copy the link because it's so easy to do, and just send it to things.
Right. Copy the link. Oh, this is
man. If this was this would be a prime Patreon fodder right here. Like this is what people would pay to see.
They don't have to pay for it now. We
don't even have to pay for it. We don't even record this, or I mean, we do. Do we? Record this. Someone records this.
It's being recorded.
The government records this.
Of course,
you're welcome, government. Well, they probably don't anymore because there's nobody left with a job to do that. So yeah, it'll be fine.
Okay.
They used to.
I just started going political, didn't I? Oh,
right.
I said that. Strike that from the record. Put that in the Epstein file.
You mean no?
I just doubled down. On politics. I gotta stop it. Somebody staple my tongue down.
You.
Okay. We are streaming across the board.
All right.
There.
And by across the board, I mean on YouTube and Helix Rock Radio.
Two places.
Yeah.
That's so many boards that we're on across.
Yep.
Welcome to Grawlix Nights, the Grawlix Podcast live show. I'm Randy.
I'm Melanie.
I'm Jesse.
Hey everybody. What's going on? Here's what's on the agenda. And that's what was on the agenda. But first,
my wife correcting the dog. Is that what was on the agenda?
Did you hear it?
Oh, okay.
This is pretty good for all the unprofessional mess that the streams now start with. What we're using right now is pretty good, I think, about cutting out background noise.
Oh,
as evidenced by the fact that I don't have my headphones on right now, which is a big no-no. Don't do that. Unless you're me.
Oh, no.
Right. But first, how are you two doing?
Pretty good.
I'm so tired. That's good podcasting right there. Just to let y'all know how I feel about being awake and even alive. That escalated, huh? Went real dark because it's night. It's nighttime, so I can get dark.
It's true. It's true.
Cersei. So,
and let's face it. Nobody's watching anyway. It's fine.
It's fine.
That should be freeing, right? Knowing that.
Oh yeah,
we're just
no restraints here. Just except for a clean language. That's the only self-imposed restraint,
and technically not political.
No. I mean, we haven't covered any content that wasn't, but but you're right. You're right.
Melanie and I are sharing a mute button tonight, so this could be interesting.
That could be problematic.
I could be more professional and just not vape. I ain't doing that.
No.
You
You
get
have
paid for profession, okay?
That's right.
Marie Kondo says, to something, your bliss.
You're right. You're right.
So, if it brings you joy, you keep it.
I'm just
keep it.
manifesting
Your
my
best life
best life.
of all time.
Yeah. So I know
Can we just appreciate for a moment.
Oh no, nope. I noticed that one fade. That one's faded. That one's fallen by the wayside, and
Has it?
I don't know what the current bots, the current trend in YouTube comments that are just get drilled into the ground over and over. It's just bots praising the channel, and it's like you're a robot. You clearly didn't even listen to watch that. You don't know what there's no context. You're just praising the channel.
You don't know that we don't know gets.
Right.
That's right. If you don't know that, then you really haven't been watching the show.
Right.
It's going to be evident tonight. So I have no topic. I've been watching Cowboy Bebop. It's good.
Yeah.
It's
I'm watching the new season of Shorzy.
What's that?
You mentioned that one last week, I think.
The whole thing last night. There's 2 episodes left. I was like, maybe I shouldn't binge the whole thing in one night. But the dog was asleep, so he did. Almost.
God, what else? We're pretty much in the exact same situation we were last week. I've been watching some anime and Invincible. You're not watching any of that, and you've been watching
Shorzy and MASH.
And
MASH.
So
it's the exact same content as last week. Only thing that's different. I do have a new new is relative Smurfs, but this is the one I've been talking about where I really wanted this Civil War, the Smurf Civil War, down with the Northerners and down with the Southerners, because one faction thinks that you smurf the nouns and the other one thinks you smurf the verbs. So that's divisive in the Smurf village.
Yeah. Randall and I decided that we want to live our lives like Smurfs too, and we're just going to Melanie everything.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
She's going to Melanie everything.
That's the Smurfy way. That's the Smurfiest way to do it, or the Melanie way to do it.
Yeah.
So prepared to get Melanied.
Yeah. Welcome to the Melanie Nights podcast, or the Grawlix Nights Melanie.
Where were you, Melanie? Melanie.
That's Melanie. Right. That's a Melanie.
Okay, but anyway.
Why is now I'm getting an error?
Uh-oh.
YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth.
What do you mean? This is we've got more. My face is more than enough video here. Look at this. Look at how video I am.
I mean, I don't know what to tell it.
Look at all this ridiculousness behind me. That's a lot of video.
Yeah, it's like a little more video then. Just I don't know.
Everything's
maybe a little too video, honestly. So
yeah,
everything's buttery smooth on my end. I don't know what to do about it. What do you want me to do about it?
Yeah, so
maybe
really
it's uploading 0 kilobytes per second. Is that
Looks like we're still live, aren't we?
Maybe
it just kept go. Oh, it just kept going. No, we're still live.
I think we're live now.
Well, I
think it had to reconnect or something.
Weird.
Did it?
Yeah. What a pain in the butt.
In the Melanie.
Sorry, you're right. What a pain in the Melanie.
Pain in the Melanie. Yep. It's a Melanie in the Melanie.
Yeah. Gotta do it right. So it's our anniversary, huh? Soon.
Oh, it's birthday-versary. Yeah.
Yep.
And was it next?
It's two.
What is today? I don't even know.
Wait,
oh yeah, Monday. Monday's mine. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you're Monday, Randall and I are Tuesday, and then Grawlix is Wednesday, right?
Is it?
Right.
I believe that's how it goes.
Yeah. So this is the closest Is this one closest, or is the next one closest?
Next week would be closest.
Yeah, but we'd be afterwards. So
No, I feel better about next week because I haven't a clue what we're doing tonight, and it's obvious the stream.
Where he's like, this is not birthday anniversary material.
According to YouTube, it's either not streaming or it's just barely limping along.
Right.
I don't know what to do about any of it.
It's the Grawlix way. So let's talk about Doctor Who.
There even anything new to talk about there?
They apparently posted the announcement of when season 2 is going to be, and there's big drama about it because it was like a nothing burger. Like they were like, they're just going to put it on as a commercial in the middle of a nothing football, aka soccer match.
Oh wait, that's what the drama was the
That's
announcement?
what the drama was. It was like this big thing. They were like, what? You're just going to drop it in the middle of a game that no one really cares about? Like, this seems like, and also the crossover of football / Doctor Who is not like super apparent why you would do that. So that was the whole kerfuffle, was like the Doctor Who fans were like, what? And also like, what does that mean? You know,
maybe they're trying to expand their fan base.
I feel like, didn't they announce Jodie Whittaker in the middle of some kind of sports thing?
Yeah,
So
yeah, they've done that in the past.
on brand.
Where it's a little like odd choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They wanted a Super Bowl halftime show is what they
Oh,
wanted.
that. So it's just like, what's the closest match we got? We don't have a Super Bowl yet. There's not like a cup happening.
They don't have
A cup.
They don't have Kanye hawking a swastika shirt money. Okay.
No, they don't.
What an insane thing. We don't have to talk about it, but what an insane thing that is. April, right? April 15th or 12th or something like that, I think.
That sounds right.
Yeah. The new
And
season.
before that, we'll get Daredevil, because Daredevil will be up, the 4th? So it'll be y'all's anniversary is when Daredevil Born Again drops on the Disney Pluses.
I gotta watch that. There's lots of Google News knows, in echo chambers you.
Sure.
So I'm getting constant like articles about, because some people have seen it, like whatever. There's reviewers, right. I'm assuming.
Sure.
So far, the reception is good.
How do you get a job as a reviewer? I want to do that.
I think we would just have to try a little harder, and we probably could do it.
Oh.
I don't know. Or we need more watchers. People actually watch us. If people actually watch this, then they would be like, oh yeah, we could do that for you.
No, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
During Grawlix's heyday, so to speak, I don't know when exactly that was, but when I was putting a lot of time and effort into the Grawlix brand, I pushed for it. And I tried to get on Netflix's, like I messaged them, like Netflix was a no-go. We're not big enough for Netflix. But like, just even like yesterday, I still get emails from random like indie publishers and stuff.
Oh, and, yeah.
Like just yesterday, I was looking at a free preview copy of like a graphic novel. And I'm like,
yeah,
you guys are still sending this stuff out. Cool. All right. But I pushed for it for a while, but I didn't get any headway like with major companies.
Yeah.
Because you need a following. And also, even though they all claim that this isn't the case, it helps if you have a good following and are probably somewhat favorable to their other properties, like, I don't know, that I think that actually does kind of make a bit of a difference.
We're a little too honest. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
and we tear down everything. We're like, we love this. Here, I'm gonna tell you everything that's wrong with it.
Right.
Sorry if you can hear
Disney BBC's not going to give us money to review Doctor Who or even reviewer copies, because like before the thing's even out, we're like, listen, it was fine.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Better than Chibnall would do.
Let us review the show, and
like we'd be crapping on previous showrunners,
and they're like, "Do you like this show?" We love it.
They were like, who is this stream for? We can't afford to give you guys previews of things.
Speaking of the random articles, Doctor Who's another one. Google News is always popping those up at me. And I seen one, and I'm not just a headline guy. I don't just get my news from the headlines. That's a big part of the problem. Is
It's lazy. It's sloppy.
It's lazy and
Not
sloppy, and it's a big part of the problem to like media literacy is an issue. All right, in the modern age, and that's part of it. Is they'll read the headline anyway. Point is, most of the time I don't, because either one, I'll read the headline and be like, that's probably it. There's nothing else in it.
Right.
Or two, I don't want to know. I don't want to know anything about it. If anything, give me the date and I'll watch it. But
right. And three, it's behind a paywall and somebody just says, hey, it was basically what the headline said.
That's that's another one. That's real bad. That irritates me, where it's like, definitely not anything to do with Daredevil or Doctor Who, but where it's like, that's an important story, and you just paywalled it. Like,
that's my biggest beef with Wall Street Journal is like,
democracy dies in darkness if you could pay for it.
Right. Yeah. You can't. Speaking of darkness, blackout.
Yep. Oh, but I was gonna say real quick,
nonsense.
Because there's that swirl of like Doctor Who's not getting renewed, blah blah blah. Apparently, Disney has said that Doctor Who is consistently in its like top 5 or 10 most streamed shows every week in the under 35 age range.
Why is everybody lying?
Yeah,
you think so?
Everybody lies. They're all lying. I don't think it's that good on Disney Plus. I think it's fine. I think it's probably doing okay, but I don't think it's anywhere near their Star Wars. I don't think it's anywhere near their Pixar's. I think it's the lame duck. I mean, I hope it stays there, and I think it's getting enough, and I think it's good that it's on there, because that, like, man, Disney eyeballs, that's good eyeballs.
Yeah, but
you can quote me. Disney eyeballs is good eyeballs.
Let us review a Doctor Who. Come on.
It might be true though, because like younger kids would watch cartoony stuff, and older people might watch Star Wars. But that the age group he's talking about, I don't think necessarily is as into Star Wars as some of us older people. I could be wrong, but
under 35s, they're the ones that grew up with and actually have nostalgia for the prequel trilogy.
Ugh.
Their opinions don't count. They're the reason a Space Jam got a sequel.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Well, and then you got to factor in that Disney also has a little thing called the MCU. So, I mean, like, that's another thing that Doctor Who is trying to compete with. And sometimes Loki does it better.
I feel like we had a big conversation just like last week or 2 weeks ago along these lines, but it's just like, I feel like it probably draws decent attention for Doctor Who. But if they're comparing it to their other IPs, no, you can't do that. Doctor Who, I feel like they should, realistic expectations, and I would hope they would have known that going into whatever the deal was that they brokered with BBC and Bad Wolf and all that. That like this is never gonna necessarily hit, Marvel series status. Or maybe I'm wrong.
You're never gonna do better numbers than you did with a David Tennant 60th anniversary special.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't really think we were going to end up talking about Doctor Who, but we really did. You brought it up. We went into it, and it became a conversation.
Yeah.
That's how we do.
There's always something to say. There's always something to say in that universe.
Yeah.
There,
we don't really have anything to talk about, but like, we are on the verge of a bunch of new shows that we like a lot that we all actually will watch, about to start again.
Sure.
Yeah, Daredevil. Daredevil's another one. I currently don't have Disney Plus, and I'm definitely not signing up tomorrow for it. But
right.
When I have to get Disney Plus again,
Or you just sail the 7 seas, you know?
Sail the 7 seas.
Are you talking about Pirates of the Caribbean? Yeah, it's on there.
Yeah.
That's a Disney property, isn't it?
Or
Or
Disney. Yeah, that's on there. Yeah, that's on there. Yeah, you're right.
Hey, is that a full size? How big is that Power Ranger behind you? That looks pretty freaking big.
the
That's
power.
big. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
3 feet or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not like life size. No, that's not
Okay.
like Jason David Frank or anything.
Okay.
But,
Well, looks
you know,
maybe child sized.
it'd be creepy if it was chasing you.
right.
Yeah, it's like 2.5 to 3 feet tall. It's pretty big.
Yeah, it's big. Sorry.
No.
This is the kind of stuff that we provide, you know.
I got
I'm
a
not
life
talking
size.
about Doctor Who. We get ADHD about the fact that I've got a Neil Gaiman book behind me. I gotta throw that away.
Oh no. You're gonna get
He
canceled.
even says art matters. Come on, Neil Gaiman. Why do you have to ruin everything?
Yeah.
We only get 2 seasons of Good Omens.
You can't throw it away though.
Maybe a season and a half of Sandman. No, I won't throw it away. Somebody worked hard on it.
Yeah.
This Chris Riddell. It was like probably his crowning moment. And then Neil Gaiman becomes a dirtbag, or was a dirtbag all along.
Yeah. I had a thing on Reddit with somebody that was like, should I throw away all my Kevin Spacey movies? And I'm like, no. And I'm like, I mean,
They're so
he's
good.
a piece of poo-poo, but it doesn't mean he was a bad actor. And those movies are still good movies. You know, there's lots of people in there besides him.
That is an area that people get weird about, but I feel like the general consensus is that it's kind of swung around to like lots of people worked on that stuff.
Yeah.
7 might get
Oh man,
because he
7
plays like a serial killer, so
Yeah.
you know that's just good casting in that case. But
right. He played a lot of dirtbags, so you know.
Kind of.
But 7's a classic. It's
Yeah.
a great movie, and there's lots of stuff. Even if you enjoy Neil Gaiman books, properties, and stuff,
Yeah.
it's okay to acknowledge that, like, yeah, okay, sure, turns out he was a dirtbag, but he also produced stuff that you really like, that enriched your life.
Yeah.
It's okay to maybe enjoy that stuff still. It's
Yeah.
fine. You don't have to burn it. I
Same
don't
thing,
know.
we talked about it last week. Joss Whedon, you know, like,
Right.
I think
What
it
did
was
he
last
do?
week.
You're trying to
What did he do? But you know, like they're talking about rebooting or revitalizing Buffy, and part of it was like, well, can you do that because Joss Whedon's so interwoven into the thing, and yet yeah, you can, because there was a lot of great writers.
Josh, I was thinking Will Wheaton for some reason, and I was like,
no, Will Wheaton's a treasure.
Right. That's why I was like, what?
He's
Yeah. He's
a
amazing.
Cartarian SJW.
Oh, he's big time. Yeah, that's what he is.
Well, okay, because we love talking about dead celebrities on this show.
Oh man, speaking of Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Speaking of Lex, oh right, you're making different
Dirtbag
connections.
Central.
I was making the Buffy connection to Michelle.
Oh,
is that how? What's her last name?
Yeah, I think so. That's how I would.
Because she passed. I think the news broke yesterday.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah,
she
we
passed today.
got 2.
Yep.
And so there's gonna be another one, huh? Or was there another one? Was there one before the 2? I don't know.
Not that I recall.
Oh, there's an actor. The main thing I can think of him from is he had a brief cameo in Home Alone 2. If it was him. It won't be him. Oh,
that was some dog correction back there. If you heard that.
I didn't hear it. I just seen your face.
Okay.
You did the right thing.
Oh, I thought you were reacting to the fact that she said that, but I guess I was.
No. Okay. It's okay. We'll move on. Nothing happened just now. It's fine.
It's fine. I'm so
Nothing
good
was
at this.
said.
Such a good podcaster.
Anyway, yeah,
Gene Hackman, man.
Yeah.
right.
He's in everything, man. Like everything. He was a cowboy. He was Lex Luthor. He was a Republican and some stuff. He was he an enemy? Was it that one Will Smith movie? Enemy
Enemy
of the State?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, he's like a off the grid wacko. Like,
Oh, was he?
dude? Yeah, dude could just play everything. He was like, they're always listening. You brought your cell phone in here. Get rid of that.
He was in a ton of things. First off, I didn't realize how old he was. He was 95. Wow. But I was also surprised that Melanie's go-to, like the only thing she could really think of off the top of her head was Lex Luthor. It was Superman.
Yeah.
And I was surprised by that.
Well, okay, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I think of.
Let's say Birdcage is one of the top ones that my brain goes to for whatever reason. But yeah, he's always been Lex Luthor. He was the first live action Lex Luthor for me, which is so bizarre because like he almost never did the bald thing. You know, like he did the bald thing once to just, you know, show that he could. And then like from then on, they were like, no, he just wears a wig all the time. Like, okay.
Right.
Mhm. Was he really bald though, or was it a bald cap?
I don't know. That's good trivia. That'd be a good Google search or thing to know.
I feel like,
but I know he didn't like it. He didn't want to be the bald Lex Luthor, and so that's why most of the time he's not.
Oh yeah, we hired a guy who we can't convince to actually shave his head.
Mhm.
Yeah, not like Nicholas Holt. He'll shave his head. Isn't that who the new Lex Luthor is?
Oh, is it Lex? They're doing Lex Luthor again. I'm so tired of on-screen Lex Luthors.
Yeah, that's a good.
Except for Michael Rosenbaum, he's a treasure.
I feel like that Superman movie is going to be a lot of world building.
Yeah,
so long as
that's fine. They probably need it,
right? And if you're world building Superman's world, whatever, it's a good idea, I guess, to establish a Lex Luthor, but he does seem like pretty integral. So I guess it is a little disappointing to be doing Lex Luthor again.
I mean, yeah, you do have to do Lex Luthor because Lex Luthor is so often behind the scenes doing something.
Right.
But he's not the only one.
Right.
It's not just Lex Luthor and Brainiac all the time. And we haven't even gotten Brainiac yet, except on Smallville or the cartoons.
Did you see the picture that I feel was partially like trolling of James Gunn and Zack Snyder?
No.
They got together. And took like posted pictures.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, yeah.
Funny.
I think it was a little bit like trying to like, you know, Snyder.
Any publicity is good publicity thing,
right? But also like, you know, I don't know. It's smart. Whatever it was, I seen it and I was like, okay, I like that. It's funny.
Nothing's happening.
What?
It looked like nothing. It looked like Jesse was listening for something.
Oh,
he probably was. We can't hear any other. If there's commotion behind you, Jesse, we can't hear it. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on there, but
okay. There's got to be something else going on. There's got to be something else. Last weekend, as I said, I've been watching a lot of anime. I got on a 80s cyberpunk anime kick, and boy, I watched some shows.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever heard of Angel Cop?
No.
It's from 89, late 80s, and it was like a 1-season deal, and it was basically a Japanese nationalist kind of power fantasy, not power fantasy, but it was a cyberpunk thing, but it was like the Japanese currency is the most powerful currency in the world, and this elite, the angel cop, whatever, this elite force was fighting terrorists, and of course they were socialist communist terrorists, and by the end it turned out like the people behind it was like capitalists and stuff, right? In the English dub. And it's one of those 80s anime that's like, it was a little sleazy. It was hard, like the gore and the violence was pretty shocking. Like I was not prepared for the initial bout of violence, but I also love that look, especially that I don't like the character designs, but the 80s cyberpunk anime style is so cool. It's so cool. Anyway, it was the capitalists, the evil capitalists in the English dub, but apparently in the Japanese original language version, it was Jewish people who were behind it.
Oh no!
I didn't know this till after I watched it,
Ooh.
and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I can still kind of see that. That's, but interesting watch." Thankfully, though, I followed it up with several shows or OVAs that didn't really take that approach. Goku Midnight Eye was pretty good, but the best, if you like cyberpunk things or retro anime, Cyber City Odio 808. It's like a 3-episode OVA from like about 89, and it was excellent. I highly recommend it. It's not nearly as sleazy as some of them from that time period. Yeah.
I don't know. I think the one guy with the big leather coat and no shirt underneath that he wore open, that was pretty classy, man. Or this like superhero or super powered like 80s rock looking guy,
Right, in Angel Cop.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, one of the characters, it's like a jacket with no shirt underneath. In which one was it? I can't remember if it was Goku, Midnight Eye, or Odio, but one of them, like the main character, or one of the main characters, wears like a blazer, open, no shirt, with a tie. So like no collar or anything. He's got the tie, no shirt, and a blazer. Ridiculous.
Japan is weird. People are weird.
just blanket statement.
Yeah. I mean, like they create so many weird like creatures and whatnot. It's like, hey, this is like a cat, but it's also a rabbit, but it can turn into a spaceship.
Yeah.
Goku Midnight Eye had a stripper woman who had a saddle, like a motorcycle saddle, and handlebars coming out of her shoulders, and she ran around on all fours and could shoot lasers out of her mouth.
Wow.
And when she ran, you heard a motorcycle engine.
That's just a day at the strip club.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh yeah. Get your motor running.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pole position, am I right?
I don't know. They're fun. I think the Odio used it the most. I love that, and it's not relegated just to the 80s or anime, but underlighting or backlighting effect they'd use a lot in the 80s. I think in the 70s they do it too. Think of like lightsabers, that light effect. Well, in a lot of the 80s cyberpunk anime, they'd use that where they'd put light behind the cells or whatever to glow through certain things. I don't know. The look, it just looks super cool. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they could do that, but they don't, that's a physically taking pictures of each animation cell. They don't do that anymore. So
you guys didn't live in Omaha, so maybe you don't have experience with it, but the 80s makes me think of, or that 80s, and so many more places should be this way, of the Dollar Theater in Omaha on Center.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that place? That was the coolest when I was a kid. I was like, "Look, they didn't use them most of the time, but they had smoke machines and they had like little lasers everywhere and lights all over the
Like
place.
a light tunnel, right? But
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah.
We need lasers and neon lights everywhere.
Yeah. And smoke machines.
And smoke
Yeah.
machines. If it's not foggy, make it foggy. Why do we not have that?
Right. Should
Just
always be foggy.
you go to the
Except
park.
in a Stephen King, anything.
Right.
Fog is bad.
Yeah.
Mist is
True.
bad.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Storms are bad. Really, everything's bad. The sewer's bad.
Alcoholics are bad. Christians are bad.
Corn is bad.
Cars are bad. Trucks are bad.
Yeah,
Dogs are bad.
Children.
Cats that are dead are bad. Just like apparently vampires are bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
Even going to the store is bad. It's all
Mhm.
bad. Just don't do anything in a Stephen King book ever.
I feel I'm waiting on a Mike Flanagan Stephen King thing. I mean, he's done lots, but he's been toiling in the media production mines of Amazon since he left Netflix, making Stephen King related properties, and I'm waiting for any of those to come out.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's working on big one, right?
Yeah, the Dark Tower, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, supposedly.
Before that, he made a movie based on a Stephen King short story. I can't remember what it was. And I maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I missed it. I don't think that's out yet. But yeah, he's working on a series.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll probably be a long time before we get it, if we ever get it. But I'm very curious as to what his body horror take on Clayface is going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Anyway.
I mean, the original Clayface story on was it? He was an animated series character, wasn't he? That just got big enough to maybe he was always around.
So. I think he originated in the comics.
Okay.
Because
probably some nerd is saying I don't know gets about Batman now. So
no, I remember reading. I'm pretty sure he originated in the comics because when the show was airing, I remember reading about like the 3 different Clayfaces that have been and stuff.
Oh,
and that would have been from comics history.
Sure.
When I'd go to the library and they'd have some comic books, but I'd end up checking out books about comic books. Yeah.
They were like, we have to find somebody to be like a Sandman. Hurry. And then they made Clayface.
Right. Clayface is a potentially cool character that I feel like when he shows up, he's kind of used for utility. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if a story tries to do like a Clayface story, it's maybe he's not a great character. Maybe he's bland, but I feel like it sometimes comes out.
His origin's good, but he's kind of a one-trick pony kind of deal. He's kind of like Mr. Freeze. It's like his motivation is kind of blah.
Yeah.
He's either trying to cure himself or he's not.
Did he use him like Mystique?
Right.
Yeah.
I had watched, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it's basically the new Batman animated series. I don't remember what it's called, but that they made, it started at WB, but ended up on Amazon by the time it actually like got rolling, I think. Produced by Jeff Tim, I think, as well as like the guy that directed the recent Batman movie. But it was basically like a throwback to Batman the Animated Series. It's very dark, very, Art Deco design.
So Bruce Tim or
Bruce Tim.
Bruce Tim. Okay. You said Jeff, and I was like, I don't know who that is.
That's me pulling a name from somebody in the past.
Well, that's what you get for having too many first names.
Right.
All these dang Tims. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I checked that out, and I kind of struggled with it. like I can watch some slow burn, but it just kind of seemed dull. And maybe part of the problem is like, I don't know. It wasn't just retreading because they did some very different things. Like their version of Penguin is wildly different than anything else going on. Because their version of Penguin is a woman who sings and has grown children that she will just ruthlessly kill. um, but what made me think of it is the last episode I watched, it wasn't bad, but it was just kind of like, felt like a retread of a very kind of cliche story, but it was a Clayface story. And I don't know what I like on paper, that series sounds perfect. It sounds so good. Like, yeah, a throwback to Dark, except they can be a little bit more adult now. Um, I struggled with it. It just didn't really grab me.
Mm-hmm.
But
it reminds me of when they did the series with Chris Claremont, where they were like, what did they call it? Like X-Men Forever or something, or I want to say that's what it was X-Men Forever. And it was basically, what if Chris Claremont just kept going after his run with Jim Lee, you know, like, because I think that was the last stuff that Chris Claremont really did. So after the Asteroid M stuff with Magneto, and it just went crazy pants off the rails. Like Shadowcat had Wolverine's claws and just not nonsense, you know. And it was like, on paper, the idea of like, yeah, we're not gonna rein in Chris Claremont. This is pure unadulterated, whatever Chris Claremont wants to do. You know, that guy that did all the cool stuff with the X-Men back in the late 70s, early 80s. Yeah, that guy. And even the early 90s. And then you get it and you're like, oh no, I didn't want this at all. Who wanted this? And it didn't last very long. I don't know if it got a full year. It probably got a year, because that's usually what Marvel would do, is they'd give you 12 and that's it.
Sometimes limitations are good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's like some people need an editor.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snyder Cut.
And sometimes, yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, you see that occasionally where it's like somebody's like, oh, they're a great creator, they're a great whatever writer, whatever. But then at a certain point, it's like, yeah, but that was a long time ago. And it's not that they're not good now. It's just what you like. They got their own ideas. They're not necessarily going to do what you assume they're going to do with the thing they used to work on. They're going to do something.
Listen, you know, Firefly was great, and so was Buffy. But then there's Dollhouse.
I was trying to think. You didn't watch Dollhouse, did you? Did you watch Dollhouse?
Me?
Yeah.
I
think I'm thinking of something else.
I don't think so.
There was some series you were on to for a while.
I never watched. When you were like, oh, maybe he is a creepy scumbag.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because it's like they're like just like automatons that are just made to do whatever, and yeah, It was weird. They were dolls.
Maybe he was empowering women.
So empowering. Yeah.
I think the thing with Joss Whedon is, because I could be wrong, I feel like he wasn't accused of necessarily heinous things, just like being a D-bag, but also like the biggest hypocrite. Like claiming one thing, or like really virtual signaling super hard while being a total D-bag on the back end. Yeah.
And being like a serial harasser of all of his talent, really.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, like Spike. Like Spike kind of was a breakout in that show, and Joss Whedon was a jerk.
Right.
Guy.
It's like, dude, you made the character
scare off your moneymakers. What are you doing?
Right. Yeah.
Well,
I wonder what's going to happen. No, we were about to track back into a conversation I think we had a couple weeks ago about behind the how things are going to go behind.
Oh, yeah. How will the new landscape affect media?
Right.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of companies that are kind of being forced into, and I know this doesn't necessarily play into the like Me Too thing, but the DEI.
mm-hmm.
I hate to give Apple any props, but it kind of give Apple props for their shareholders being like, yeah, no, we're not walking back those policies.
Right. Well, it
Good on 'em.
doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense because studies show that a diverse workforce improves company like efficiency.
Studies, statistics, facts, those aren't relevant here.
Listen, there's always an alternative to everything, even facts, alternative facts.
Yeah.
Remember, we're back to that now. You know,
But I'm very curious at what kind of effect we'll see in future.
well, it'll be an alternative effect.
Can it also be an alternative future?
Maybe, unless it's inclusive.
So we're not going to include all the futures.
No, not allowed. Two genders.
How long have we been going? Are we good?
Yeah.
Almost an hour. That's pretty amazing.
Have we? Oh
yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
You know what else is amazing?
What?
Polyfluoroalkyl substances,
Whoa.
also known as PFAS, also
fast.
known as forever chemicals.
Those aren't amazing.
No, they are used in water, stain, and grease resistant products and clothes and all that kind of stuff. But unfortunately, they're everywhere in the environment now because they don't ever break down. And they build up in the environment and in our bodies and in our brains and in our babies. And now studies are showing that they are linked to kidney and thyroid disease. Let's see what else. Hormone disruption, thyroid problems, interference with vaccine effectiveness, reproductive harm, and abnormal fetal development, as well as some brain conditions possibly. So, yeah, they're bad. And
this is like the microplastics too, right?
That's basically what it is microplastics. Yeah.
I've heard that like some they found, and maybe we already talked about this, but like they found like a plastic spoon worth of like microplastics in some people's brains that had like dementia and whatnot.
Right. Well, that's what in the most of the brain ones, they think it's that they build up, it like gets stuck and then clogs up and then causes deterioration. And that's why with most of the brain ones, that's the problem there. Some of the other ones, it's more just the chemical exposure, but also they're worried that there could be problems with that too, with like blocking arteries and things like that.
Okay.
The most disturbing part is that, they find them in fetuses, umbilical cords, stuff like that, in the milk that mothers produce. So our kids are going to be full of it. I mean, none of us are having kids, so we don't have to worry about it, but
other people's kids.
Yeah. The future.
Yeah. Birds.
Yeah. So, maybe just opt for some stuff that can get dirty and be happy with that.
That doesn't feel amazing. That story did not feel amazing.
I mean, it's amazing in a bad way.
It's 2025. That's as amazing as you're gonna get.
Look, it's February. What do you expect?
Right.
The article gives you avoid nonstick pans, try cast iron, avoid this, try that kind of stuff. But that's basically it. Just stop using stuff that's plastic. Stop using stuff that's stain resistant or grease resistant. Go back to the good old fashioned
water.
Yeah, I don't trust everything that the Bible says, but maybe they were right about that. You're not supposed to mix fabrics thing.
Is that a thing?
It is. It is one of the things.
It is. Yeah.
Weird.
Multi-blend fabrics and whatnot, and shrimp.
And shrimp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Weird.
Right.
Levitical law, baby.
You know what? I trust these companies. They're going to do the right thing. They're going to get those chemicals out of there because the free market
Yeah.
regulates itself.
Yeah.
Especially now.
Yeah. Well, let's really hope so, because the EPA was the only people that were doing anything about it, and even that was minimal. So
EPA, are they still around?
I'm not sure.
You know, I mean, Nixon invented that, so it was, there's nothing wrong with it.
I'm sorry, I lied. The FDA did they banned some food packaging.
No, I know.
There were actually that's RFK. Yeah, so we're fine.
No, there were actually some good stories coming out of the FDA. I had noticed not too long ago about like red number 5. What? No, is it red number 5?
Yeah, well, yeah.
They're finally
that broken clock and whatnot. But like, yeah, I agree with that one for sure.
I'm sure
that's ridiculous. Like, oh, but it's a little more red now. No, maybe I shouldn't have it. Maybe it could be a little less red. That'd be fine.
Right. I'm sure whatever's left of the government's gonna keep up on that and make sure companies are doing right.
Oh yeah. When you get rid of a bunch of people, it's pretty easy to regulate stuff, so it's fine.
I shouldn't even bring it up in the show.
Yeah.
No.
It's thoroughly disgusting.
I will not. Oh, I'll take that. I'll just run with it.
Yep.
Hey.
Yep.
Except they want to regulate the dumbest things. The dumbest things.
I feel like you were trying to end the show and then you're like, no, I'm mad.
I'm mad.
No, I'm mad. I'm not ending the show yet.
Let's deregulate all the things that'll poison us and kill us, and instead regulate what people do at home in their bedroom.
Right. Anyway. You guys got anything exciting coming up? Anything you want to mention before we jump out of here?
Nope.
No. Okay.
What? Not this weekend, but next weekend I'm in a show. So if there's anyone around that's local that's watching or watching this later, you can come see me. I'll be at Constellation in Lincoln, Nebraska on the 7th, 8th, and 9th. And
nice.
You can stop in and we can talk some nerd sounds at me. I'll echo some of those nerd sounds back at you. Yeah, it'll be great.
Cool.
Yep.
I've got music to release. It's a problem. Tomorrow.
It sounds like a good problem to have.
Yeah, it is. No, I've got like an album or EP or whatever I've been sitting on for like a year. The problem is I think I've been sitting on it too long and I'm like doubting it now. And I had that Corruptor album. I had kind of like set this one aside and did that. It was like an impromptu album.
Sure.
And I wanted to release the album last month, but then whatever. It's a stupid problem.
Listen. Art matters.
You're right.
It matters. Oh, just ignore that top part. Ignore that. But it matters.
Mm-hmm.
You just put it out there, Yeah. It'll find its
got
audience, right?
Boots and pants to it.
Turkey Gobble Boots and Pants.
Yeah, that song.
Boots and pants.
Anyway, hey, tomorrow I'll be streaming like I do every Friday on Helix Rock Radio. It's rockradio.live. Come listen to me. That's it. Come listen to me. No, don't listen to me. Come listen to some extreme metal with me. I try to keep my talking to a minimum because you don't want that. That's not why you're there.
I don't know. I really like listening to you butcher some Slavic names.
Oh man, it's so bad. And it's not just black metal, but it's especially black metal. Oh, there's a reason I save certain blocks of like songs for towards the end of the night, because in my mind I'm like, well, if anybody was listening, they've tuned out by now, right? They won't hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't understand the words, so it doesn't matter if you can understand their names.
Right.
Maybe.
And I'm like, what would they do on a regular radio station? Half the time, they probably wouldn't even say who they played. They just play some music, right? But
or they'd probably have like a phonemic guide for at least the artist, and then they would or just they would just say the track name or something. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe both. Yeah.
Well, so I have the AI clone of my voice. And
Oh yeah.
once in a while for replays, I will use that. And I think it butchers it pretty bad too, but at least that gives me some plausible deniability. So if you listen to just the replays, you will get a slightly better version, although occasionally AI Randy will jump in there and take care of some things. That's when you know live I butchered it so bad that I don't even want it in the replay. I'm just like, nope, I gotta fix this. But anyway.
Oh man, now I'm curious. Okay, speaking of AI, I did. I know we're ending, but I just throw this in on the end. I've been playing with was it Notebook LM,
Okay.
and that's the Google one that will take a file and it's pretty cool. Like it's really good for like research stuff where you can plug in like a whole research paper and and then you can just chat with it and be like, hey, tell me about this part, and then the chat bot will tell you about that part specifically. And it's like, oh, cool. And then also you can take that and you can feed it into their studio, which will give you a podcast on it. Right. And I think we've talked about a similar type of service on Helix Rock Radio before as well. Right. But yeah, I've been playing with that, and I fed one of my poems into it and had them do a podcast about my poem, because it's what was on my phone, right? Like I was like, oh, what files do I have that I can give it? And so I did that, and I was like, that's crazy. They just did like a podcast about my poem. And then I was like, man, what would it sound like if I fed them the Grawlix podcast? That's what just entered my brain as you were talking about AI, Randy. And I was like, I wonder.
Sure.
Get an old Grawlix an old cat dancing episode and feed it into Notebook and break its brain.
I was watching some YouTube video and they were messing around with something and I didn't know what it was called, but it was where you give it just some file and it makes a podcast about that file. And they gave it a file that had nothing in it. And it produced a podcast where the hosts were just discussing, like it went all deep into like the meaning of nothing and it'd be empty.
Oh, wow.
Emptiness and stuff because the file had nothing in it. And
yeah. So just riffed on that. It's like us when we have nothing, we just talk about Doctor Who.
It's like tonight. Yeah, we are just poorly trained AI.
Maybe we are an AI podcast. Just we're just bad at it.
Right.
We're the worst AI.
Yep.
Listen.
We're like chat no GPT. No. Stop it. Quit.
I've tried. I want to make an AI Grawlix episode. As much as everybody's like, well, he's like lazy, just type in a prompt.
Oh no, so much work.
It's a lot of work, man. Yeah. It's a lot of work, and I can't quite wrap my mind around certain aspects. So that's why, like, I think last year, maybe the year before, I was going to do like an AI generated episode.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah,
anniversary.
You said it.
I couldn't get it.
We have so many great ideas we never do. So
yeah,
right.
Partly because y'all aren't watching. So, I mean,
it's your fault.
I mean, we're lazy. I mean, I don't know. None of this is good.
I don't know where
we don't want to do things. Come on.
We don't want to.
We barely did this podcast tonight. I almost called it off.
Yeah, speaking of, I kind of don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We are the no. Why are you still going? Quit it. You already did. Isn't it amazing? You already said what's going on. Hey, Melanie, what do you got going on? You got anything going on?
No.
That's our cue.
That's the new theme of the show. Like, it's not TV movie talk. It's not comic book talk. It's simply how long are you going with nothing to say?
Yeah.
So
until Melanie just rage quits.
Right.
How long can we go before we push Melanie over the edge?
Okay. Hey, YouTube. Bye, YouTube.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a great weekend and all that.
Yeah.